My name is Queen Zowaya Counts, and I would like to welcome you to my channel, When Zowaya Speaks. This episode is about Black Woman Speaks Out Against Somalians. She is stating some things in there that she is letting us know that she is truly pissed off with Somalians. Somalians are trending right now. Every time I go to YouTube, there is someone making a commentating video on Somalians. They're fraud. Yes, there is fraud that has happened. And it is bothering some of us Black Americans. Why we can't just call ourselves Americans? That Somalians do not classify themselves as being Black. You have Nigerians who say they're from Nigeria, so they call themselves Nigerians. Mexico call themselves Mexicans. Puerto Rico call themselves Puerto Ricans. It goes on and on and on. But because they are brown, because they look like me, they would rather be labeled as Somalians. And now we have this thing, like when you go to fill out an application, Hawaiian American, Mexican American, putting those titles in front of Americans separates. I would rather just be called American. I remember when I went to the Bahamas and I had dreads in my hair. No one said, oh, there's a Black American. They called me the dreadlocked American. So this is causing a lot of separation. But however, she is stating that she's been threatened by these people because she's speaking for Americans. Let's get into it.
80,000 Somalis sent to Minnesota so they could vote in Ilhan Omar. That's how it was set up. Do you know that they are inbred so much that their IQ is between 60 and 80? If y'all don't get y'all fraudulent, scamming, cross-eyed, big four-headed, ancestral asses up out of here. We know you married your brother. Take y'all illegal scamming asses on. Get out. I'm on my way to Minnesota. I'm on my way to ask you questions. You didn't want to say nothing to the white boy that was asking. You wanted to threaten the white boy, but I bet you won't threaten me. I bet you won't tell me to get the fuck on. I bet I won't. Let's go to Minnesota. Let me call my brother and my best friend, and let's start a TV show. Let's go around to all these damn places and figure out what the fuck is going on. I'm already in Dearborn. Let's start there first. Those motherfuckers need to go to.
These people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people because the level of stupidity that they are displaying every single day is frankly embarrassing, not just in Congress, but as Americans. And the fact that these people are allowed to say just the most ridiculous things tells you that the dumbing of the United States has arrived, because how else do we get a Trump presidency again?
Now, this is why she's angry. You just listen to what Ilhan Omar has said. Now, Ilhan Omar, this congresswoman, has been accused of marrying her brother. And she even wants to sugarcoat the fraud that is taking place in Minnesota.
Federal prosecutors say 59 people have been investigated in these schemes so far. Americans at large stole tens of billions of forms of aid during the pandemic all over the country. Minnesota's fraud scandal stands out, according to federal auditors. What are you hearing from investigators right now?
Well, I've been following the cases closely as they've gone through the courts, and we know that there are more indictments possibly coming. I think that number might go up to 73 is what I'm hearing.
Okay. Can you shed any light on why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
I think what happened is that, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
Now, obviously, whatever the ethnic group, the actions of a few dozen should not impugn an entire community of thousands of people.
Now, y'all just heard her say that the reason why a lot of the fraud took place in Minnesota was because of the pandemic. Yeah, we know that a lot of people was getting these PPP loans. We know what was happening. People were frauding. You know, this is what takes place. But this fraud that happened in Minnesota happened before the pandemic. So there were people who were setting up daycare centers and not working in them. There were people who were saying that their children were autistic. Not artistic, I'm sorry, autistic, had autism. And they were getting paid to set up daycare centers and programs for these people. And they were getting money. This is like billions and billions of dollars that they were getting for these programs that was federally funded to help these people out, to help them out. And so the fraud, the reason why they're being, how can I say it, on the spotlight is because this fraud was going on, and there were people in the government of Minnesota, Minneapolis, who was working in these state government agencies that were saying there's fraud going on, and they were losing their jobs for calling it out. So this is why Somalians are trending.
It's not going to be some instant amnesty. What's going to happen is you are going to pay a significant fine. You are going to learn English. You are going to go to the back of the line so that you don't get ahead of somebody who was in Mexico City applying legally. But after you've done these things over a certain period of time, you can earn your citizenship. So that it's not something that is guaranteed or automatic. You've got to earn it, but over time, you give people an opportunity.
Criminal, listen. Important. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up.
He deported over 4 million people.
The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century.
There was the one keeping people in
To those
cages.
members of Congress who question my authority to make our immigration system work better, or question the wisdom of me acting where Congress has failed, I have one answer.
Yep, see?
Pass a bill.
So what is interesting about what former President Barack Obama is stating, he was known as the immigration deportation king. And what does that have to do with Somalians? Well, I'm going to tell you, you saw Biden's border. Those weren't all Mexicans that was coming into the country. There was people who was coming into the country by way of Mexico from other countries. And they were shipped off to different states. And Minnesota actually became the Mecca for Somalians. So there was no rules that was being followed. There was no one was being vetted. They all let them in. They put them on buses and planes and shipped them. They gave them government money, EBT cards, housing that came from American tax dollars. And let me not pay my taxes. I get a letter in the mail saying you owe this, and it keeps going up until I pay it. And paying those taxes was going into the hands of these people. But you had these Somalians, not all of them, because I've got some that were my friends and they were not like that. At least I didn't know that. But you have these people who are creating these fraudulent programs and getting grants for their autistic children, for operating daycares, for feeding the homeless. It just went on and on and on, and they were getting billions of dollars, and they were sending it back to Somalia even a terrorist group, and this is all allegedly, right? This is all allegedly. So I advise that you go do your research. But he was telling you what you had to do. What you had to do. And then you have the Congresswoman of Minnesota saying that Americans are stupid and we are idiots. Maybe she's right to a certain extent because they were stealing our tax dollars. They were getting into those programs. They was learning how to finesse the system. And this was way before COVID.
Video is for Somalis that reside in the state of Minnesota, and specifically for Somalis that want to remain Somali and not American. My name is Kendall Qualls. I'm a candidate for governor running to represent all Minnesotans as a Republican in the next election cycle. Next year, we're going to celebrate the 250th anniversary of this great nation. And over the course of that time, millions of people from around the world have been eager to call themselves American citizens. And over the course of that time, they've made this nation a better nation, a stronger nation, a safer nation in their own communities. But quite frankly, my friends, we don't feel like we've been getting that from the Somali community here in Minnesota. Now, if you want to come here and live here as Americans, we welcome you. But if you want to come here and stay as Somalis, well, that, my friends, has never happened in the course of American history, where a people have rejected their host nation, taken advantage of their privileges and their generosities, and then reject that citizenship and the notion of free market enterprise, their loyalty to this nation. That's never happened. And it will not happen as we move forward. In the next election cycle, I'm going to petition the Justice Department to ensure that we have the safest and the fairest election in the history of this state. No more fraud or accusations of fraud. Because we're not going to be the generation that lost Minnesota. We're going to be the generation that saved it.
Now, he's not the only one that's running for governor of Minnesota. You know, the My Pillow guy, he's running for governor of Minnesota as well. But keep in mind, the present governor of Minnesota was running along with Kamala Harris to become our next vice president if she would have won. So they've been asking him questions as well. Watch this next clip.
That boy Tampon Timmy is mad.
You okay with the president calling our neighbors garbage?
You talking about the Somali butt pirate fraudster stealing money? Yeah.
Are you okay with him referring to Minnesota as a hellhole, unfactually untrue?
In the words of Chip, yeah. Yes. I think that fits it pretty well, yes.
This creates danger. And I'll tell you what, in my time on this, I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word in front of people.
That's because you're a retard, Timmy. There's no way around this shit. You're a retard. You allowed your city to go to shit and turned a blind eye to these Somali fraudsters stealing millions and millions of dollars. So not only are you a retard, Tampon Timmy, you a blind retard. You can't see.
This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, you're right, that's shameful. He should not say it.
Usa. I said I wasn't going to get mad, but I lied. What the fuck are you talking about, Tim? The Democrat Party is calling people Nazis, bigots, racists, Hitlers, wishing death on Republican kids. And bitch, you want us to be mad about the word retard? I said I was going to get more family friendly on here.
So look, I'm worried. We know how these things go. They start with taunts, they turn to violence. So
you know why you know how this goes? Because y'all fucking do it and get people killed. Woosah. What I'm trying to say here, Tim, don't clutch your purse now. It's much too late for that, Timmy.
Wow. So as y'all can see, this is worldwide. People are upset. And Americans, we have the right to be upset. We have the right. Look at all of this fraud that is taking place. Yeah, we got that right.
They done threatened to take my life if I come to Minnesota, so I'm on my way. I'm about to put together some sweatshirts, some t-shirts, so that you can fight, so that you can support the cause, because I'm about to travel the United States of America and figure out what's going on with Americans. I don't care nothing else about nobody who's not an American. Now, I don't put no black in front of it. Don't put no white in front of it. I'm not fighting for no racial causes. I'm fighting for America. We will not be the UK. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Jihad my motherfucking ass. It won't happen here, not on my watch. But they said they're going to take me up out of here if I come to Minnesota, so I'm on my way. We're going to start some fundraising. We're going to start, somebody start me a motherfucking GoFundMe. I am on my way. I don't think I'll come back home for another year from now. I think I'll just be traveling around causing motherfucking hell for everybody who ain't American. That's what I think I'll be doing. Here I come.
So there you have it. And, you know, there's so many videos out here on Somalians. There's so many people with their opinions. There's so many people that are commentating on what is being said, what is going on in the government. But after all, this is all energy, right? And I feel like since we are in the year of the 9, 2025 equals 9, that there are some changes that will be occurring as we go into the year of 10. And with us coming out of the year of 9, we got to prepare. Like, there's going to be some things that are going to be completed. There are going to be some things that are going to be said and done, as it always is, as it is every year, that people will not like. But if you know yourself and you know who you are, then you will not allow what is happening around us to affect us, but to view everything as energy and to view everything as it has to happen. This is how it has to be. And sometimes there is a process that comes into play where, in order for new things to happen, in order for there to be new beginnings, the old ways have to die off. The old things have to be cleared away from you. So maybe in America, in certain states, there has to be a cleansing for new ideas, for new people to come in and make a change. And I hate that the changes that are happening, or what people are wanting to happen, that are taking place in Minnesota with the Somalians, I hate that a whole group of them are being called out when it's not all of them. I do understand that they are so dedicated to their religion that they would rather follow the laws of their religion versus the laws of the government, the laws of the nation that they are living in. But that outweighs all of that, because you still are supposed to follow the laws of the land, not defraud. And with all of this fraudulent activity, it affects all the citizens of Minnesota, those who truly need help. They don't even realize those that was defrauding the system, or frauding the system. Why did I use that word, defraud? Or frauding the system, have made it worse for people who really need this help, because now everything will be under a microscope, as it should, because it should have been that way from the start. But, you know, when you got people on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and places like that that are teaching you, that are showing you, that are telling you how to defraud the system, from CPNs, you know, to how you can get free food stamps, and you got all of these dark websites that gives you information that belong to other people, how you can steal and take. It seems that a lot of people, a lot of Americans, not just Somalians, have really lost their true value and their morals. Like, every person is for themselves. I feel like their root chakras need to be cleansed, because I feel like this all comes from fighting for survival. But I also feel like the religion has a lot to do with it. I really do. My name is Queen Zoaya Khan. when Zoaya speaks. There's my website, www.zoyaworksllc. I do healing energy work. I do long distance work. So if you need something done, reach out, go to my website. Comment if you want to comment. Like if you want to like. Subscribe if you feel like it. This is a new channel and I'm starting off. I'm not going to beg for subscribers, but if you want to subscribe, share the video. Even if you don't like what I said, still comment. Like, I am very open. I like to hear what people have to say. Thank you for watching.